Okay, and a little bit more on the earth so it's nice and shiny as well. How cool is that? Now always just shake off any excess solder that you might have on your soldering iron. You don't want any excess solder on there, because it's just going to, so just put it back in the stand and get rid of some solder there. Okay, so we're basically ready to go to make this guitar lead. So I'm going to now thread that through. If I put it through there, okay. And as you can see, once again, they're basically nearly in position just to get soldered straight on there without too much solder, as you can see. Perfect. All right, so let's do that. Let's first do the earth. Now, once again, try not to have the soldering iron on there for too long. That's why we've already tinted the plug and tinted the cable with solder already. We don't, excess heat is just going to burn that center core inside the cable here, and we're going to have a short, and it's not going to work. Okay, you might think you've done the right job and it might look all perfect, but if you put too much heat with a soldering iron, you're going to stuff it. All right, so let's move back here. I'm going to put the earth on. Let me thread it through again. Now, before I even touch the earth on there, I'm going to heat the bottom part up again. Can you guys see that? So I'm heating the bottom, okay, and then I'm just grabbing the earth and pushing it down. Hey, what a great job that is. I couldn't have asked for a better job on TV. How's that? Okay, and keeping in mind, see the black cable? It's still behind this here where it's going to grab here on the plug, which will give it a bit more support. And look at that. I don't have to go too far to get my positive onto the positive. Here we go. So I'm just pushing it forward a little bit to make sure it's right where I want it to be. First, I'm going to heat up the center core so it just melts the solder. Then I'm just going to place the conductor straight on top. Here we go. Quickly melt that, quickly put that on top, and there's a beautiful job. That's a nice shiny bit of solder. Now, if all goes to plan, check this out. Okay, so now we need some long nose pliers. Don't try and tighten that with that. Get long nose pliers. Long nose pliers. Here, thank you. Tightening it up so obviously if we pull on the lead, it's got a bit of support here. Okay. Now, see that? That's a beautiful solder joint. I'm just going to bend that down so it's nice and straight. Now you can, depending on what sort of lead, you can go through and do this, but you don't have to. Okay, this is like an extra precaution, where what I do is I thread a little bit of tape through there, put it down, go across there, and then I cut it off. Okay, and now what that does, that's a bit of an extra precaution. It actually seals it from touching the conductor. So for example, if this lead ever copped a really bad bend, it's not going to actually touch the earth. Now that's an extra precaution. You don't have to do that all the time, because guess what? That's what this sleeve is also for, that we put on there. Hopefully you haven't forgotten to put it on there. So we're just going to slide that over. How's that? Can you guys see that? So I've got a shielding on the earth from the positive touching the earth, and then we've got a shielding on the outside with this rubber bit of plastic here from stopping the positive touching the chassis once we screw it up. So then you put that on there, rock and roll. Now give me a second and we're just going to plug that in. Now, if you've got a multimeter, you can quickly just check it. This multimeter has got what they call a continuity switch, so when you touch the two things together, you get a tone. So that tells me that the wire is joined all the way through, all the way to the other side. So what do we want to do? We want to make sure that the positive is going to the positive, and the negative is going to the negative, and the negative and positive are not touching each other. Okay, so let's quickly do that. So if I put that down here, I'm going to put one pin on the positive. Now this is the same, if you've got an old analog multimeter, it's the same thing as you just put it on ohms, and when it reads a short and it's all the way over, that means it's both touching. So let's see. So we've got continuity there between the two tips. Now we're going to go between the two earth points. And we do. Now, just to be on the safe side, we're going to just try the tip and the chassis. Thank God for that. Okay, it's all working. Let's just try the other side. But actually, if there was a short in either side, it'd show up when you touch one side, okay? So, give us a sec. I'm just going to get an amp and we're going to plug it in and make sure it works. All right, so grab an amp, just your little guitar amp. Just turn up the volume just a fraction. And just start. Hey. Hello! Check 1, 2. No. All right, so this guitar lead's working. It could be a patch lead, it could be a guitar lead. Go off and go and fix all your guitar leads that are broken. We'll see you soon. I'm Carlo from Downtown Music here in Sydney, and thanks for watching.